Okay, but the enemies! I mean, kind of think, have you ever seen Last of the Mohicans? You ever seen Last of the Mohicans? They get slaughtered. I'll try to look for the Last of the Mohicans for you. That's Mel Gibson. You don't like Mel Gibson? Why not?
I'm not a big fan of like anti-Semitics or anti racists.
After they perceived, or they felt, they realized, your book says realized, so after they realized from the noise at night and from the watchmen about their setting out, meaning the Romans, okay, then we got an ablative absolute. With two ambushes having been arranged in the woods. Well, it says bipartito is in two parts, so I guess you'd say with the ambushes having been arranged in two parts in the woods. In a convenient and secret place. From around 2 miles away. They were waiting on the arrival of the Romans. Okay, and when the greater part of the battle line, meaning the Roman battle line, had sunk into the great valley.
Teachers, this time dismiss students next period.
Okay, so they showed themselves. This is talking about the Gauls. So suddenly, sorry, I forgot suddenly. Suddenly they show themselves from either side of the valley. It says Eus is a demonstrative, so you're going to say of this valley. And sorry, did I say begin or began? Sorry. They showed, make sure, go back and make sure this is perfect. They showed themselves suddenly from either side of that valley and began to harass the nearest, well, I think I'd say both. They began to both harass the nearest men, or you could say, like, those would be like the ones in the back of the army, and to prevent the first, like the first group of soldiers in the climb, and to engage a battle with the nearest, no, to engage a battle okay, so this is like with our men in the nearest spot. So Caesar's doing this on purpose. Do you see how it looks like the Gauls right here are on either side, and our guys are like trapped in the middle? Okay, so then we got finally, Titurius. Remember, Titurius is Sabinus. Okay, then your book says that this is a relative clause of causal equivalent to a cum clause. So you're gonna say, since he had like prepared for or foreseen nothing before, like beforehand. In other words, he didn't prepare for this. Okay, so then we've got these next three infinitives are what's called historical infinitives. Okay, and what that means is historical infinitives are like infinitives that are used as main verbs, usually in the third person singular, to like speed up the action of the narrative. So he's given a rapid sequence of events that are happening in this battle. So he's trying to help us see that it was, things were happening so fast he couldn't be bothered to conjugate the verb. but you're gonna act like Titurius is still your subject of them. Okay. Okay, then we got and here. Okay. So he was agitated, and he urged on and distributed his cohorts and then however okay, then it says you have to supply a verb. Like, however he did these things, or these very things. These both go together, and they're both accusative. So he did these very things timidly, and so that everything, whoops, I lied to you, hold on. It says omni is your subject. So that, it's still a result clause. Everything seemed meaning his internal turmoil. Everything seemed to fail him. Okay, now think about this. This is Caesar writing this about Sabinus. Okay, so how does he characterize Sabinus as a leader? Okay, he says that, when everything goes to crap, he seems to lose his wits. Okay, because okay, so it says to do which, it says to do this is which, meaning, and it's talking about losing his wits. So which consume wit, was accustomed to happen to those kind of people. And then plerumque is an adverb. Generally. Okay, so this is the data. Like, to those who are compelled to adopt their plan in the crisis itself. Or you could say, to go to him, he's like business or task at hand. So you could say, who are compelled to adopt the plan, like in the task itself, like while it's happening. Okay, so we're going to compare Sabinus' leadership style in these lines to Cotta's leadership style in this line. Now remember, Cotta was the one that argued, no, we should stay, right? Wait for Caesar. Caesar's going to take care of us. So we're continuing that idea of, or Caesar's continuing the idea of, you do follow the plan that Caesar lays out and you'll be successful. But you follow the plan that Cotta leaves out, you follow your own plan. You follow your own plan and you may get ambushed. This is what happens to people who take their own advice. Okay, so we got, but Cotta remember that this cogitaset is really cogitavisset. Okay, so you got to remember that it's pluperfect. Okay, so but Cotta, who had thought and it sets up in a direct statement. So that these things were able to happen on the journey and for that reason had not been an advisor of setting out. Okay, so I think day essay takes the dative. Okay, so you're going to say was lacking the common safety in no situation. So in other words, he was taking care of his people. And he was performing the duties of a soldier in the fight, and these suckers are both gerundives. Oops, here. Gerundive. And in calling, like he was performing the duties, in calling and urging on, let's see, he's performing the duties of a commander. There we go. Here, let me take this off. Okay, see how these are parallel to each other? Okay, so he's like performing the duties of a soldier in the fight and of a commander in calling and urging on the soldiers. So he was, saying, you can do it, or keep fighting, as well as fighting himself, fighting the enemy himself.